Daniel Carter stood at attention as Captain Lisa Wright reviewed his file. The office was small and plain, like most Federal Bureau of Space Corrections rooms. Daniel waited patiently, his tall frame still and ready. "Officer Carter, you have quite the record. 4 years in the Marines, 3 years with us, top marks in combat training." Captain Wright looked up from her tablet. "That's why you've been selected for this new post." "New post, Nam?" Daniel asked. "Nexus Station, the biggest alien prison in this part of space. The Council of Galactic Species asked for you by name." Daniel frowned. "Aliens asked for me. I've never even worked with non-humans before." Captain Wright smiled. "That's the strange thing. They want human guards only. Been that way for years now." She handed Daniel a transfer order. The paper felt heavy in his hands. His new job would start in 3 days. He would need to pack tonight. On the transport ship to Nexus Station, Daniel met another human guard named Eric Martinez. Eric had been working with aliens for 5 years already. "So why do they want humans so bad?" Daniel asked as they watched stars zoom by in the viewing lounge. Eric shrugged. "No one tells us the full story, but I've seen how the prisoners act around us. They're scared, man, really scared. And these are the toughest criminals in the galaxy. Scared of humans, but we're not even the biggest or strongest species. There's more to it than that," Eric said quietly. "You'll see." The transport ship docked at Nexus Station 2 days later. The station was huge, a spinning metal ring with spikes pointing inward. Each spike was a cell block, housing criminals from over 70 different alien species. Daniel picked up his bags and followed Eric through security. They passed guards of different species, but Daniel noticed most were human. The few non-human guards looked at them with strange expressions, something between respect and fear. At the main security office, Daniel met Warden Xkta. The alien was tall and thin, with 4 arms and skin like blue tree bark. 2 large eyes blinked sideways at Daniel. "Officer Carter," the warden said, voice clicking through the translator. "We are most pleased to have another Terran join our staff." Daniel nodded. "Thank you, Warden. I'm eager to start." "Yes. Good." The warden seemed nervous, stepping back slightly. "Your species has a special quality that makes you ideal for this work." "What quality is that?" Daniel asked. The warden's eyes blinked rapidly. "Your orientation begins tomorrow. Officer Martinez will show you to your quarters." As they walked away, Daniel whispered to Eric, "Does the warden seem afraid of us to you?" Eric laughed. "They all are. That's why we're here." Daniel had a feeling his new job was going to be very different from what he expected. And he was right. Daniel woke early on his first day. His room was small but clean. The walls were plain metal, like the rest of the station. He dressed in his new uniform, dark blue with the Nexus Station badge on the chest. The orientation room was filled with screens showing different parts of the prison. Daniel sat next to Eric as the briefing began. "Nexus houses criminals from over 70 species," said the trainer, a human woman named Officer Jones. "Each species has different needs and dangers. Some can spit acid. Some can read minds. Some can change shape." Daniel took notes as Jones explained the prison layout. The most dangerous prisoners were kept in the center spikes. The outer ring held those who were less violent. After the briefing, Daniel met his new squad. Olivia Fletcher was short with red hair and quick eyes. Ryan Brooks was tall and strong, with dark skin and a serious face. Both were human. The last member was not. "I am Zakra," said the alien. Its skin was bright blue and smooth. 2 large eyes watched Daniel carefully. "I will be your team guide." Zakra's voice had an edge to it. Daniel sensed the alien did not like him. "Welcome to the team," Olivia said to Daniel. "Don't mind Zakra. The Volari are always moody." Zakra led them on their first patrol through Block C. Daniel saw cells holding creatures of all shapes and sizes. Some had too many limbs. Others had no limbs at all. Some were tiny. Others filled their entire cells. "Stay alert," Zakra warned as they entered the common area. "The Crotons and Saurians have been fighting all week." Daniel spotted them right away. The Crotons were huge, like walking rocks with horns. The Saurians looked like tall lizards with sharp teeth. They stood on opposite sides of the room, glaring at each other. Suddenly, a massive Croton charged across the room. It slammed into 3 Saurians, sending them flying. More joined the fight, roaring and hissing. Daniel moved without thinking. He stepped between the groups, hands raised. "Break it up," he shouted. "Back to your sides." The fighting stopped instantly. Both groups backed away, eyes fixed on Daniel. The Croton leader, twice Daniel's size, lowered its head and moved back slowly. The Saurians hissed, but also retreated. Daniel was confused. Why had they listened so quickly? He turned to find Zakra staring at him. "What just happened?" Daniel asked quietly. Zakra's face showed surprise. "They know what humans are capable of. That is why you are here." As they continued their patrol, Daniel noticed all the prisoners watching him. Their eyes showed the same thing he had seen in the warden's eyes yesterday. Fear. But why? 2 weeks passed. Daniel learned the routines of Nexus Station. He memorized the paths between cell blocks. He studied the different aliens and their habits. He still did not understand why they feared humans. On a quiet Tuesday, everything changed. Daniel was eating lunch in the guard room when alarms blared. Red lights flashed on every wall. "Code red. Drektar breakout in Block D," shouted a voice over the speakers. "All guards report to stations." Daniel jumped up. He knew about the Drektar. They were strong aliens with thick armor-like skin and 4 powerful arms. They were in Block D for killing other prisoners. He grabbed his shock baton and ran. Ryan joined him in the hallway. "This is bad," Ryan said as they ran. Drektar are pack hunters. They work together. When they reached Block D, the scene was chaos. 3 guards lay on the floor, hurt but alive. 6 Drektar were free, breaking open other cells. "Where's Olivia?" Daniel asked, looking around. "She was checking the south corridor," said a guard, holding his bleeding arm. Daniel's radio crackled. "Help, south corridor. 3 Drektar have me cornered." It was Olivia's voice. Daniel ran without waiting for orders. The south corridor was far from the main block. No one else would get there in time. He turned a corner and saw them. 3 huge Drektar, each 9 feet tall, with gray skin like rock. They were closing in on Olivia, who stood backed against a wall. "Hey," Daniel shouted. The Drektar turned. Their yellow eyes narrowed. One made a sound like grinding stones. It was laughing. "Small human," it growled through its translator. "We break you." Something changed in Daniel. He felt his heart beat faster. His vision sharpened. Time seemed to slow down. He moved. The first Drektar swung at him. Daniel ducked under its arms and hit a weak spot on its leg. The alien fell with a roar. The second rushed him. Daniel jumped aside, used its momentum to throw it into the wall. The third grabbed for him, but Daniel was already moving. He struck 3 points on its body in quick hits. The Drektar collapsed. In less than 30 seconds, all 3 aliens were down. Daniel stood, breathing hard. He felt strange, like he had been someone else for a moment. Olivia stared at him with wide eyes. "How did you do that?" Daniel shook his head. "I don't know. It just happened." Zakra appeared in the doorway. The blue alien looked at the fallen Drektar, then at Daniel. "Now do you understand?" Zakra asked. "This is why humans are prison guards. This is what the Deathworld gave you." "Deathworld?" Daniel asked. "What does that mean?" Zakra simply turned and walked away. "Tomorrow, I will show you." The next day, Daniel found Zakra in a small room filled with screens. The blue alien waved him in. "Sit," Zakra said. "What I show you is not for all eyes." Daniel sat across from Sakura. You called Earth a death world. What does that mean? Sakura's fingers moved over a control panel. In the galaxy, planets are rated by how dangerous they are to life. Most advanced species come from safe worlds with mild weather, few predators, and calm geology. Images of beautiful planets appeared on screen. Worlds with gentle hills and calm seas. These are where species like mine evolved, Sakura continued. But then there are death worlds. The screen changed to show Earth. Sakura pointed at the images. Your world has crushing gravity, extreme temperatures, terrible storms, and thousands of predators. Life on Earth must fight to survive every day. This shaped your species. Daniel frowned. Earth doesn't seem that bad to me. Because you evolved there, Sakura said. What seems normal to you would kill most aliens in days. Sakura touched another button. A video began to play. This is from Europa Station, 15 years ago. Watch. The video showed a prison, much like Nexus. Alarms were flashing. Hundreds of prisoners were rioting. Guards were trying to restore order, but they were being overwhelmed. Then Daniel saw the human guards. There were only 5 of them, but they moved through the chaos like they were made for it. They were injured and outnumbered, but they fought on. Their movements were fast and precise. They never gave up. In the end, the 5 humans had subdued hundreds of prisoners. This is why the galaxy wants human guards, Sakura said, stopping the video. Before humans, prison security had a 70% death rate among guards. Riots happened monthly. Sakura leaned forward. Your people have what we call predatory instinct. Humans can sense danger before it happens. You can fight through pain that would stop other species. You can think clearly when afraid. Daniel remembered how he felt fighting the Drektar. The clarity, the focus, the strange calm inside the danger. But there's more, Sakura said. Many Deathworld species are strong or fast, but they lack something humans have. What's that? Daniel asked. Restraint, empathy. Sakura's large eyes studied Daniel. You could kill easily, but you choose not to. This makes you perfect prison guards. Dangerous enough to stop any threat, but controlled enough not to abuse power. Daniel sat back, taking it all in. So the prisoners fear us because we're from Earth. They fear what you are capable of, Sakura said. And they should. 3 days after his talk with Sakura, Daniel was called to the warden's office. Warden Xka stood by the window, looking out at the stars. Officer Carter, the warden said without turning. I have a special task for you. Daniel stood straight. Yes, Warden. Tomorrow we receive a new prisoner, a mind-shaper named Vexicor. The warden turned now. He caused mass suicides on 3 planets. You will handle his transfer. Daniel had heard of mind-shapers. They could push thoughts into other minds. They could make people see things that weren't there. I understand, Daniel said, though he wasn't sure he did. Later, in the guard room, Olivia and Ryan looked worried when Daniel told them. This is a test, Ryan said. They always test new human guards this way. What do you mean? Daniel asked. Olivia leaned close. Mind-shapers can break most species with a thought. Only humans can guard them safely. Why? Daniel asked. No one knows for sure, Ryan said. But we guess it's because human minds evolve differently. We already fight our own thoughts every day. The next morning, Daniel waited at the docking bay. A small ship arrived carrying Vexicor and 2 robotic guards. The prisoner looked almost human except for his pale gray skin and large black eyes. His hands were bound in special gloves that blocked his mental powers. I am Officer Carter, Daniel said. I'll take you to your cell. Vexicor smiled. A human. How interesting. They walked through silent hallways. Daniel felt a strange pressure in his head, like something pushing at his mind. Your gloves are supposed to block your powers, Daniel said. Vexicor laughed. They only reduced them. You feel it, don't you? The pressure grew. Daniel's vision blurred. Suddenly, he saw terrible things: his family dying, Earth burning, monsters coming for him. Daniel stopped walking. His heart pounded. He knew these visions weren't real, but they felt real. He remembered what Sakura had said about humans, about fighting to survive, about facing danger. Daniel pushed back against the thoughts. He focused on his breathing, on his steps, on his job. "Get out of my head," he said through clenched teeth. The visions faded. The pressure lessened. Daniel kept walking, pushing Vexicor forward. "Impressive," Vexicor said. "Most species would be screaming by now, or dead." They reached the special cell block. Daniel locked Vexicor in his cell, then stepped back. "You resisted," Vexicor said, watching him. "But I wasn't using my full power." "You won't get the chance," Daniel replied. Later, Warden Exta called Daniel back to his office. "You did well," the warden said. "Now you know another reason why we need humans. You are the only species that can guard mind shapers without losing your minds." Daniel nodded. "I'm starting to understand." But he still felt there was more to learn about why the galaxy feared and needed humans. A month into his job at Nexus Station, Daniel noticed strange things happening. Ryan often came back from maintenance duty feeling sick. Olivia was sent alone to dangerous areas more than other guards. One day, Daniel found Ryan in the medical bay. His skin was pale, and he was coughing. "What happened?" Daniel asked. Ryan looked around to make sure they were alone. "This is the third time. They send me to fix things in areas with gas leaks. They say the mask will protect me, but it never works right." Daniel frowned. "That's not safe." "It's not an accident," Ryan whispered. "I saw the doctor's notes. They're testing how much poison humans can handle." Daniel didn't want to believe it, but later that week, he saw Olivia's assignment log. She had been sent to break up fights between the most dangerous prisoners 8 times in 2 weeks. That night, Daniel searched the station's computer files. He found hidden folders with labels like Human Stress Response and Terran Immunity Testing. There was a video file of Ryan working in a room filled with thin green gas. Another showed Olivia facing 3 angry prisoners while someone watched through a camera. Daniel felt cold anger rising inside him. The prison wasn't just using humans as guards. They were using them as test subjects. He went to find Sakura. The blue alien was in the observation room, watching the cell blocks. "You knew," Daniel said. "You knew they were testing us." Sakura didn't deny it. "Many species fear humans. They want to know your weaknesses." "Why?" Sakura turned to face him. "Some leaders think humans might become a threat. You evolve quickly. You adapt to any situation. You survive things that kill other species. So they're poisoning Ryan, putting Olivia in danger, to see what kills us." "To understand you," Sakura corrected, "for galactic security." Daniel stepped closer. "Tell me who's behind this." "I cannot," Sakura said. "But I can tell you it goes beyond this station. Many powerful aliens fear what humans might become." Daniel had a choice. He could report what he found to Earth authorities, or he could use this information himself. "What will you do?" Sakura asked. "First, I'll make sure Ryan and Olivia are safe," Daniel said. "Then I'll find out who's really running these tests." Sakura nodded slowly. "Be careful, human. You are proving their fears right. That humans are too smart, too capable to control." "Maybe that's exactly what they need to understand," Daniel replied. As he left, Daniel knew things at Nexus Station would never be the same. The prison was watching humans. Now, humans would be watching back. 3 days after Daniel discovered the testing program, all hell broke loose. He was eating breakfast when the alarm started, not just in one section, but everywhere. The lights turned red. The doors began to lock automatically. "All guards to emergency stations," the computer voice announced. "Multiple prisoner escapes in progress." Daniel ran to the security office. Inside, screens showed chaos across the station. In Block A, Saurians were breaking down doors. In Block C, the Crodans were fighting guards. In Block E, the Drektar had taken over an entire level. "This isn't random," Olivia said when she joined him. "Look at the timing." All at once, Ryan rushed in, still weak from the poison tests. Someone cut power to the cell locks in 5 blocks at the same time. Daniel studied the screens. This was planned. But why? Then he saw it. The pattern. All the escaped prisoners were moving toward the human quarters. "They're coming for us," Daniel said. "This whole riot is aimed at the human guards." The station shook as something exploded. The lights flickered. "We have to get to the armory," Daniel said. The 3 humans ran through the halls. They passed injured guards from other species. The station was falling apart around them. At a 4-way intersection, they found their path blocked by 6 escaped prisoners of different species. The aliens growled when they saw the humans. "More guards to kill," said a tall, spiny creature. "No time to go around," Ryan whispered. Daniel nodded. He felt the same change coming over him that he'd felt with the Drektar. His senses sharpened. His mind cleared. The 3 humans moved as one. They used everything around them: pipes, wall panels, even broken lights. They fought with a skill that surprised even themselves. In 2 minutes, all 6 prisoners were down, and the humans weren't even breathing hard. "That's why they fear us," Olivia said, looking at their handiwork. They reached the armory and found Zakra inside, loading weapons. Ryan moved toward the alien. "You're part of this." Zakra raised its hands. "No. I came to help." "Why should we trust you?" Daniel asked. "Because I've seen what you humans really are," Zakra said. "You could kill these prisoners easily, but you don't. You show mercy when you could show force." Zakra handed Daniel a weapon. "The ones behind this conspiracy want to prove humans are dangerous animals. Prove them wrong." Daniel took the weapon. "How?" "End this uprising without killing," Zakra said. "Show the galaxy why humans are truly valuable. Not just your strength, but your heart." 3 hours later, the uprising was over. Daniel, Olivia, and Ryan had led a team of loyal guards through the station. They had stopped the riot without a single death. Now Daniel stood in Warden Ekshta's office, holding proof of the conspiracy. The warden looked tired, his blue skin pale. "You know about the tests," the warden said. It wasn't a question. "I know you've been poisoning my friends," Daniel replied. "Testing our limits. Putting us in danger on purpose." The warden's 4 hands moved nervously. "There is more you don't know. More about why humans are so important to us." "Then tell me," Daniel demanded. Warden Ekshta touched a screen, showing an old space station. 100 years ago. This was Sector Prison 7. It had no human guards. The image showed the station breaking apart, prisoners escaping. A riot broke out. The warden continued. No one could stop it. 5,000 prisoners escaped. They killed everyone on 3 nearby planets before they were stopped. Daniel watched the terrible images. After that, the warden said, the Galactic Council passed a secret rule. All high-security prisons must have human guards. "Why didn't you just tell us?" Olivia asked. She and Ryan had joined them. "Fear," the warden admitted. "Many species fear what humans might become. You are strong, smart, and adaptable. Some worried that if humans knew how special they were, they might try to take control. So you tested us instead," Ryan said bitterly. "Yes, to find weaknesses. To be ready if humans ever became a threat." Daniel stepped forward. "Today proves you're wrong about us. We could have killed those prisoners. We didn't." The warden nodded slowly. "That is the final truth about humans. Other Deathworld species are dangerous too. But only humans show both strength and mercy." Daniel put the evidence on the desk. "Here's what happens now. No more tests. No more secrets. Better treatment for human guards everywhere. And if I refuse, The warden asked. Then Earth learns about what you've been doing, Daniel said simply. The warden agreed quickly. 1 week later, a new group of prisoners arrived at Nexus Station. Daniel watched them enter. The aliens looked nervous until they saw the human guards. Then, strangely, they relaxed. Zucra stood beside him. See, they know human guards mean they will be treated fairly, kept secure, but with dignity. Daniel nodded. That's the real reason Deathworlder prison guards are always Terran. Not just because we're tough, but because you're kind, Zucra finished.